another. We thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. We include all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a good. We offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Welcome, dear listeners, to another enlightening episode of Group Kwentuhan. Today, we embark on a captivating journey into a realm of education philosophy, delving into the deep, profound ideas of two influential thinkers. First is Junda Rousseau and John Dewey. I am Rovy Mark M. Bollido, and together with my group mates, we are all excited to chit chat with you on how these thinkers shape the way we think about learning and teaching. Jean-Jacques Rousseau in 18th century philosopher, and John Dewey, a prominent figure in the early 20th century, both left and um, who make a mark on the philosophy of education. Their ideas have shaped the way we perceive learning, teaching, and the purpose of education itself. The first part of our discussion will embark on the system, no, in our local or international aspect of education. We'll journey back to Rousseau's time, exploring his revolutionary of um, Emile model. Rousseau challenged the conventional wisdom of his era, advocating for an education that nurtures the innate goodness of the child, allowing them to unfold naturally like a bud and spring. Then we'll fast forward to the progressive era of John Dewey, a pragmatist philosopher who believed in learning by doing. Dewey's idea centered on experiential education, emphasizing the integration of theory and practice. His vision aimed to prepare individuals not just for academic success, but for active and meaningful participation in a democratic society. Within this group discussion, we will hear from our handsome guest, and you will know them individually later, on what will be their answers to the following questions that we will be talking about. First, the first question that was given to us by our professor that um, will be the discussion um, point of this group Kwentuhan. First, we have for us, what will be the What is the current situation of our educational system, both local and international? Second, given the issues shared, how can the philosophy of education from Rousseau and Dewey uplift the situation? So we are tasked to give one specific idea that we learn from Rousseau and Dewey's philosophy. And then having the two question, if we can formulate a new style of approach in education, what could it be? So grab your snack and please help me to welcome our guests as they are joining us today for a laid back chat about how these smarty pants thinkers still influence what happens in classroom today. So before anything else, let us welcome our guest. First, Brother Paul from Salvatorian. Next, Brother Nguyen Pantang from Sumaskan. Brother Cyrus from the Emmanuel Servants of Holy Trinity, and Brother Dan Lloyd Rehabilitasan from Emmanuel Servants. Good afternoon, brother. How are you?
Good afternoon, brother Rovy Mark.
Good afternoon,
Good
brothers.
afternoon, bro.
Yeah. So thank you for joining um, with our group this afternoon. So um, I know you are all excited to share your points and ideas, no, on the given question assigned to ask, no. So first, I would like to ask Brother Cyrus. So can you share to us as a Filipino? Can you share to us what kind of educational system Philippines has?
Isang mainit at magpapalang hapon po sa lahat. And good day everyone. First, I am Brother Cyrus Dexter from the Inmost Servant of the Holy Trinity. So, at this moment, I am going to share or answer the question about the issues or the current situation of educational system here in the Philippines. So, being a Filipino and based on my observation about the educational system here in my country, I think lack of finance and the equality in education are the main causes of the majority issue and the current situation facing the Philippine educational system. So, including the socio-economic factors, like, for example, as we all know that students come from various backgrounds. Some are some are poor, while others come from affluent household. So they may come from a strong family structures in which the parents are professionals or highly educated, while other students may come from a single parent household or have parents with limited educational backgrounds. So students from affluent neighborhood will most likely have more educational support and resources to help them through schools. While other students who are unfortunate, they will not be able to support because of their family status, and somehow those students they just drop or stop their studies because of the circumstances. So some other issue is that there is a lack of regional equality in education here in the Philippines. Uh, Both private and public schools, like a shortage of classrooms and the lack of equipment, like, for example, laboratories and computer rooms. Maybe that's all, Brother Roy. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that wonderful systems here in the Philippines. No, I agree. I agree on your of the factor that perhaps the government could also give time to have some research, no, because not all can provide what you call this one, when we talk about financially, no. But having said that, those are the things that still happening, no. Like for example, in our town, mostly some of the concerns is coming from the provinces malayo, and then yung educational system is hindi nakakasabay sa takbo ng educational system. And those are one of the factors na that are happening here in the Philippines. Thank you, Brother Cyrus. Um, Having said, the educational system here in the Philippines, perhaps we can hear some ideas coming from outside of the country. No, Brother Paul, can you give us some what kind of educational system Vietnam has?
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Paul. I come from Salvatorians community. Um, I'm happy to tell you a little bit about education system in Vietnam today. Our country tries very hard to make sure all children can go to school. As you know, most kids attend primary school from ages 6 to 11. After that, most students go on to secondary school and high school until age 18. Schools in Vietnam, I think also the same in Philippines, teach the basics like math, literature, science, and history. Students also learn some English starting in middle high school. But not the same Philippine. English is not the second language, so you can see we cannot speak English very well. The same like you, Paul. We have over 20 million maybe students often lack resources to city schools, and students from poor families sometimes have to skip school to work and have their families. As you know, the brothers come from Vietnam, have experience to work before go to the some religious community, before going to some religious community. Almost the brothers come from Vietnam have experience working before, and so Vietnam still faces challenges in making education truly equal for all. But we are trying bit by bit. Our education system is improving, and we hope one day every try will have the chance to fulfill their potential through education. That's the general view of our education system. Let me know if you have any question. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Paul.
Brother Paul, for giving us background of educational system in your own country. Same like Brother Peter of Sumaskan. No, hopefully one day, we can visit your country. No,
I'm
here in the
looking
Philippines.
forward to the day,
Perhaps,
Paul.
yeah, that's nice. Okay, so having said your views on the educational system of your country and here in the Philippines, from Brother Peter of Sumaskan. Now, given the um, question to us, no, question number one, it talks about the current situation of our educational system. In your own perspective, where it is local or international aspect, can you share to us the current situation in your own perspective and view of the educational
Mm.
system nowadays?
So, good morning, brothers. Can you hear me, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, brother.
Yes, brother.
Yes,
Thank
brother.
you.
Yes, yes,
So,
loud and
as
clear.
brother Bone have shared already now, so most of the thing are similar. So, but I would like to add some more is about something is different from Filipino, so it will be easy to understand lang. They in Vietnam we also have elementary, secondary school and high school. So something is different is here from here in the Philippines is uh, in Vietnam elementary is from grade 1 to grade 5. So secondary school is from grade 6 to 10 to 9 to 9, and high school is from 10 to 12. So, and after that, college. So, a little bit different, di ba? In Philippines, senior high only from grade 11 to 12, and junior high is, I think, 6 to 10, something like that, di ba? So, in Vietnam, we also have before elementary also. So a lot of parents also send the children go to the school, during very early age. So you know, in the education in Vietnam is the idea is the people always want the children to be intelligent, to be observe a lot of knowledge from early age. So therefore, around 2 years old, 3 years old, something like that. So the parents already force the children study already. No, like the subjects like mathematics, or physics, or chemistry, something like that. A lot. So now, if you read on the news, there are many news. So they are about the international competition now in the road now for the students. So actually, Vietnam is always the country on top, always the first and second one. No, always the first. Oh, something we proud of it. But the but the invention, no, but the useful invention is for life. It really few. We don't have much. Or even though no, the the doctors and the masters, something like that. In Vietnam is really the numbers of doctors we highest in the Asian country, especially we know we few times higher than Japanese. But no, but in Vietnam there's no people to invent something that useful for real life. So I think this the we also lack we also lack of something that is like the idea of Jan ways that we lack of something that uh, we just force we just force the children study, but no, but only study only, but lacking the practice. So I think this the also the issues in Vietnam. Thank you, brothers. That's no.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, brother Peter from the Sumaskan. Now, may I ask, brother, how young are you when you start to enter school? How young are you during that time?
The we start grade 8 and 6 years old now. 6 lang.
Oh, grade. How do you call it? Grade eight,
Grade 1.
kinder, something like that.
Ah,
Ah, grade one. Oh, okay.
grade 1.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Thank you so much for. Yeah. How about brother, brother you are? How young are you when you start to enter school?
Grade 6,
Six
no.
po.
6 years old now. Yeah.
Ah, 6 years
Six
older
A. This
in
years old.
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah. That's the grade 1 now.
Yeah,
But
just the
if
same.
some family if they have some
Perhaps.
ability, they can um I mean if some families if they have some ability they can give their children in kindergarten before grade 6 before elementary school. The children can join the kindergarten if their family have ability to give them there.
Mhm.
So they can begin at the early age, maybe 3 or 4 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No, even here in the Philippines, if the parents observe that his or their son is already, what you call this one, very excited to enter school, they need to enter daycare. We call it here daycare as the first step of the educational system here in the Philippines. After the daycare, kinder, and then the elementary, grade one, and so on and so forth. So we have that the same what you call this one, level of educational system. No, in terms of school. No, so at this point, floor to Brother John Lloyd of Emmanuel Servants of the Holy Trinity. Brother John Lloyd, in your own perspective, in your own view, what is the current situation of our educational system, whether it is
Good
local
afternoon,
or
brothers. I am Brother John Lloyd A. Cabilitasan from the congregation of the Emmanuel Servants of the Holy Trinity. It shows a local current situation of the education in the Philippines. Actually, is for me the Philippines is compulsory at the basic education level, like said by Brother Tang. The composed of kindergarten, elementary school grade 1 to grade 6, junior high school grade 7 to grade 10, and the senior high school grade 11 to grade 12. Um, the educational system is managed by the three government agency of the level of education. First, the Department of Education, DepEd for basic education, and the second is the Commissions of the Higher Education or CHED for the higher education. Third, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TISDA for technical and vocational education. The current state of the Philippines educational system is facing several challenges. The Department of Education, or led by the Vice President and Educational Secretary Sara Duterte, presented the basic education to giving the public education stakeholders an idea of the current state of the Philippine basic education. The report contains the list assessment of the challenges the country basic education is currently facing. No, so they are currently facing by the Philippines education system. There are uh, five, no, na may they have five current challenge that Philippines. First is the, the cleaning mental health among the students and teachers. The stress of the pandemic and the shift of the online learning have had a significant impact the mental health both student and teacher. And the lack of support of teachers. Teachers often lack of necessary resources and support of efficiently teach their students, especially in a remote learning environment. And the third is the culture of or mass promotion of learners. So this refers to the practice of the promoting students to the next grade level, regardless of the academic performance. So this is the current several challenges currently in the Philippines, no? And four is the absence of the accurate, timely, and consistent assessments. There is a need for more reliable of regular assessment to track the student progress, identify areas of improvement. And the last is the initial problems in the basic education, resource such as school facilities. Many schools lack of necessary facilities and resources to provide a quality education. So yun yung so that's all the current system of the Philippines, no? And for the perspective education, should focus by developing individual natural goodness and potential. No, for for me, this approach also emphasizes the importance of creating a supportive and nurturing educational environment by focusing on the individual natural goodness. So it encourages positive reinforcement and the cultivations of a love for learning. And the focus of education from imparting knowledge for fostering personal growth and development. And it recognizes that each individual is unique with their own strengths, interests, and potential. Therefore, the education should be to the individual, allowing them to explore their interests and the development their strengths. The progressing through subject based on the age of level students will advance upon demonstrating mastery of the topic, and this ensures that students fully understand the subject before moving on a more complex of concepts. So that's all, brother, for my simple or little understanding of our topic discussion this afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It is right that some of the schools, especially in the schools and provinces, sabihin na natin, they really lack of essential resources, no? One of those resources that they are lacking is the building, the school itself, because as what we know, as the world continue to exist, a lot of ang pumapasok sa school. And then yun din yung isa, one of the problem, no, in terms of buildings and school. The resources itself, and then which also a little bit challenge to those leaders who were assigned to um, facilitate the school itself, the teachers, the principal, so on and so forth. And then one of the situation also, the current situation also here in the Philippines, during the time when they approved the K-12 program, right? In which sabi nga ni brother Paul, brother Peter earlier, that in their country they don't have this K-12 program, right? Only from grade 6 to Peter. No? So here in the Philippines, we have this K-12 program. They used to call it as a preparation for the students para sa college, no? Which is a little bit issue coming from the student, and I don't know what is the virtue behind na they allow to our here in the Philippines. So that is good na we look at the lower part of the current situation of our educational system in our country. Those issues in our educational system, let us now look back on this discussion we had with our philosophy of education. We have these two great philosophers, Rousseau and Dewey's philosophy of education. No, these two philosophers a big impact on the educational system. And then as of the moment, their philosophy of in the development of our current educational system, no, as Rousseau, when we talk about Rousseau, his philosophy talks more about the child-centered education child-centered education. Well, at the same time, John Dewey's educational philosophy talks more about the learning by doing. So it means as the child experience a lot. So that was the concept of education from Dewey's philosophy. So it means there is that foundation coming from the family itself, which is the first teacher of the child, which the family give this experience to the child for them to learn. So parang yun yung concept ni John Dewey's philosophy. Now, in your own point of view, as you shared already a lot of issues in terms of the educational system, local or international um, perspective, um, how can the philosophy of education from Rousseau situation given by your given issues in educational system? I think let us give the floor to brother Paul. What how can the education, the philosophy of education of Rousseau or Dewey's give a specific idea on perhaps on how to solve or what will be the good way in order to address those issues you presented earlier.
Um, Let me present an idea from John Dewey's philosophy of education that could help enhance Vietnam's education landscape. As you know, I like the idea learning by doing. That we believe education should be based on real-world problem solving, not just passive absorption of information. Students retain knowledge better when they actively apply concepts and engage in hands-on activity rather than just memorizing from books. For example, instead of just reading about physics concepts, students could design simple experiments to test gravity and motion. This type of experiential student-centered learning stimulates creativity and critical thinking skills. In Vietnam school, there is room to incorporate more interactive projects, experiments, group work, and student-led learning. This would motivate students more than just lecturer at them. It would teach them how to innovatively tackle challenges using their development knowledge, which is a valuable skill in life and careers. More emphasis on learning by doing good helps students engage with course material in a deeper, more meaningful way. So, in summary, Vietnam could enhance its rigid exam-focused education by integrating John Dewey's belief that students thrive when given opportunities to learn actively and practice problem-solving skills. This way, the knowledge gets cemented through experience. With guidance, students can take charge of their own discoveries through hands-on learning activities tailored to curriculum objectives. You think, um, because I think it's a good way. It's a good way for our education system. In the past, Vietnam only focused on theory. We are learn very heavily about theories. So now we try to give the student more opportunity to practice in school or outside, so they have more experience when they go out to get a job. So that's it by my express about the ideas of their way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I like the idea that you have this kind of program which the students or the pupil let them to experience outside, no, outside of the school as their additional way of learning something new, no, which is it is is a good way of, sabi na nga, as what the philosophy of this great philosophers, that they really talks more about the experiential way of learning, no, to experience in order to learn. Thank you for sharing that from Vietnam system. Now, brother Cyrus, in your own stack ideas about the philosophy of education of Rovie's philosophy. So, can you share something?
Once again, for me, I would like to express my perspective about Rousseau's philosophy of education. So, on the idea from Rousseau's philosophy of education is the concept of learning by doing. And then, so Rousseau emphasized the importance of hands-on experiences and practical activities in the learning process. Now, for the given example that I have shared a while ago, in such lack of equality in education in both private and public schools. So, how can those students learn something, something that is not able, like yung para bang hindi nila matutunan yung mga bagay kung ano yung gusto nila matutunan kasi there is a equality in education here in the Philippines. Now, the idea of this philosophy of Rousseau implementing that the Philippines education system would involve incorporating more experiential learning methods. So, such as field trips, yun yung sabi ni Brother Paul, project-based learning or interactive simulations. So, these methods can support students' active learning of the material and aid in the development of creative thinking abilities. So, siguro, we try to implement this idea to some sector of our, like, for example, DepEd or CHED na, uh, yun nga, keep them in mind na education is uh, important in order to those students who learn a lot of things. They need they must see this a problem in our society nowadays. Maybe that's all, Father Government.
Yeah. Understanding. So, what if because as what we observe, no, many of nowadays, many youth, they are more intelligent enough, if if I may say, they have that capacity to think, to navigate informations, so on and so forth, because they possess it already. But how come that most of those people who possess that kind of the gift of knowledge they have, di ba napapansin natin, they are the one who doesn't have job, achievements in life, nagiging useless. They are the number one na they don't have work. So what will be your idea? No? What will be your idea, Brother Cyrus? Just in your own personal point of view. Or what will be the solution coming from the government of the for those people na gano'n. 'Di ba? A little bit may parang may kulang, no? Parang may kulang. If if we try to understand, but yeah, it's part of our discussion, right? To it's part of our discussion to somehow critic the philosophers itself. Am I right?
Base of the philosophy of Rousseau, what learning by doing is, nakafocus ako sa situation here in the Philippines, like yung bang lacking of equipment. Those students who are willing to understand something, those students who are willing to like yung parang mag-aral nga pero hindi nila makukuha yung ano yung mga bagay na gusto nila kasi nga kulang sa equipment yung eskwelahan. Like yung parang nga paano mal, paano sa matututo sa isang bagay na hindi nila matutunan kasi nga kulang. Hindi ko sana na-gets mo yung gusto kong ibig sabihin.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, thank you.
Uh,
No, so
uh,
those are the issues, no, coming from the school, and then if we then we are trying it to connect to the philosophy of this the given philosophers that we have this afternoon. Yeah. So thank you, brother Cyrus. So at least we have this conversation. Now we exchange this kind of conversation na for us to somehow question, give some question to the given belief of the philosophers, no, to the philosophy of education. Now, brother Peter of Sumaskan, having said those from the philosophers and then the current system of our educational system, um, do you have any idea of what kind of new style or approach in education? The philosophy of Rousseau and Dewey.
So, no, why ago I forgot to introduce myself, di ba? So, Peter Ngovanthang from Sumaskan lah. And for me, I really like the idea of Jan Wei, no, di ba? Jan Wei. So, his idea is he advocates that we learning through experience, di ba? So he emphasized that the importance of learning through hands-on experience and active uh, interaction with the environments, di ba? So and education should be relevant with the students' lives, and that they learn best through doing. No? So, and the concept of learning by doing is the fundamental idea of Jan Wei's philosophy. So, I think this is also the encouraging the teachers create eh, learning experiences and invoke the real life situations. So helping students also apply their knowledge, in the reality. So I have the issues as I have raised earlier, no, and also as Brother Paul have said a while ago, no. So in Vietnam, really they um, study a lot, study a lot, but something somehow there's still lack of practice. So therefore, as I have mentioned earlier, during the competitions of the students in the road to Vietnam, so we're in the top, but really, but of life with the reality. So nothing yet, nothing to be proud, nothing to mention here. So up with that, so I really like, I really like the idea of Jan Jan Dewey, about learning through practice, learning through doing. Thank you, brother. Mm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother Peter, share for sharing that new style, no, or approach, especially in your own country, which is you know already the educational system, right? So it's a good way of to look more deeper on the educational system in Vietnam. So, Brother Paul, do you have any idea of new style or approach that somehow can help to grow our educational system?
I just want to support more the idea of Brother Peter. As you know, and as I said before, in my country we lack of a lot about practice. So uh, besides, we have to give more opportunities for students to have practice inside school or outside school. I think we should give opportunity for students to have more digital or technology in school in studying. So it's very good for researching um, in study for student. So they make the study of student in school more vividly. So beside giving more practice, I think the government in our country have to contribute more technology in school in studying. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sorry for that background that I have here in our in our seminary. So, last word of your idea of a new style or approach in our educational system. Um, can you share it to us, Brother John Lloyd?
Good afternoon, Olit brothers. I'm here. Okay, for me, for my understanding about the question of number three. So, okay, now, for me, progressing through the subject based on age or a grade level, our student will advance upon demonstrating mastery of a topic, and this ensures that students fully understand a subject before moving on the more complex of concepts. Yun lang, no, parang so maikli lang yung aking pag ano sa aking pagninilay sa katanungan na yun for my understanding only. So, yun lang po.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, to end this conversation, it was indeed a very fruitful discussion with you guys. No, thank you for sharing your educational system, both Vietnam and Philippines. If we try to combine those issues in um, the educational system of our country, they are somehow the same, no? The same issues that we are facing in our educational system, no? Um, from the child itself to the education system, and then also the way of teaching, no, as it is one of the challenge nowadays, no, just like to go to the recent trend that is now happening in our country. And then as what our discussion also, that having those kind of trend that is now happening, it needs to be evaluated if it is applicable to apply, or it will not make that the learners having that difficulty in learning. And then as I observe, no, we already have this learning by doing, and then also child-centered education. And then I think one of the lacking is that the single type learning, which is in school, we cannot totally say that all the children have the same critical thinking in terms of learning, right? There were some students that are good in writing, let me say. There were students also that were good in physical activities, so on and so forth. So I think within this concept of single type learning, which is, it really start from the house itself, where the parents are the number one teacher for them to learn, to uplift those kind of develop those weaknesses. Like for example, he is have this kind of difficulty in writing. Then from their house, then that will be the challenge of the parents to teach his children how to write, to develop that kind of skill, that kind of knowledge. No, so that is one of the to improve in our the educational system coming from the government, the faculty, the buildings, the resources, which can help the pupils or the students to learn more by experiencing those updated um, resources that are now part of the trend in the world. So somehow those are the ideas that I see that um, no it could be one of the solution as what you and our discussion. So thank you so much, brothers, for being with us, as our group activity in this subject. So thank you. Any last words? Do you have any words to say as we end this group Kwentuhan 2023 edition? Do you have any last words?
We are we are all
You're now
handsome.
free to open your mic.
We are all handsome. Oh, di ba?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
especially
you.
brother Peter.
Thank you,
You're so
brothers.
handsome,
Okay. So to give
Peter.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. So to our beloved in our group Kwentuhan. So thank you so much for being with us. Also to our professor, Sir Joshua, Sir Josh Ulano. Thank you for having this kind of activity, no? Group Kwentuhan. So to give us a closing statement, let me call on Brother Paul. So to summarize all our discussion this afternoon.
So, to wrap up our talk about education today, I want to emphasize that schooling is important for both individuals and nations. When children have access to quality learning opportunities, they gain knowledge and skills to have more options and happiness in life. They can develop careers that earn decent incomes and respect. Meanwhile, our country, Philippines or Vietnamese, with educated citizens grow stronger economically while also becoming more democratic. However, there are still obstacles in making education truly equal, as we can see in our presentation, Philippines, also in Vietnam. For example, families in poverty often struggle to keep kids in school. Schools in rural places tend to lack resources too. Prejudices can also block some groups from achieving their potential through the system. So while our country like ours have come a long way, our education system aren't perfect. Expanding free schooling to more grades, good health, scholarship can add poor but bright students. We must keep working bit by bit, step by step to make education higher quality and more inclusive of all. So we also discuss about the idea of education of Rousseau and their ways. Two of them also said tradition schools to rigid, competitive, though for students. Teachers should guide, not force learning. Children learn better when following interests naturally rather than top-down pressure to perform on tests. So, in conclusion, when that happens, both people and nation, our nation, especially Philippines and Vietnamese, stand to flourish and even more. Knowledge brings opportunity, skills brings security. Exercising our minds allows us to reach for our dreams. So, quality education promises bright futures for individuals and country alike. So let's keep that hope and vision alive. Thank you.
So thank you so much. It was a very nice discussion with you guys. So thank you for giving your time, your skill, for sharing your knowledge. So thank you and have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, brothers.